All right, people, this is the big one, the Christopher Nolan one. And where do I start? I'm I'm the one person in this whole fucking world, whole fucking universe, who is tired of Christopher Nolan and has been tired of Christopher Nolan for a while. Since Dark Knight Rise, well, I started to pick up on those things. Well, kind of, sort of from the start, really. But his check marks or his identity as a director didn't start bother me until maybe Interstellar, which is a like 80% masterpiece and 90% pure piss. I'm over exaggerating, but I think for me the first one I was really like, there we go. Now he's gone overboard. Is Dunkirk. Well, fuck it. You know what? The first real Christopher Nolan movie, I thought like, there's something that's not for me here. That's Inception. And in Inception, that was the whole over-explanation thing he has going on. The whole thing that it's a dream within a dream, but he has to explain everything, so he has to put in the architect, and there has to be some. But it never feels like a dream. It feels like a video game with like levels. That's what Inception feels like. And the whole need for Christopher Nolan to explain every fucking thing, like Paradox with Joseph Gordon-Levitt explains what's her? Ellen Page. He explains Ellen Page about the paradox and what this and that and blah blah blah. And I think like, as many people who watch a lot of films think, like, I wonder how this is gonna get into the third act or the later second act. And of course it did. Joseph Gordon-Levitt did exactly what he set up with Ellen Page. But Christopher Nolan can't just show you, he has to fucking tell you. So he has to do the thing and then say the thing he said he was gonna say. Paradox. I was like, no, don't fuck it up, man. So that's the thing. And Dunkirk, let's talk about Dunkirk for a sec. Okay, so Dunkirk for me, there's a lot of problems with. First of all right, Christopher Nolan's need to have everything filmed on set. Like, no CGI, nothing. And he had to film Dunkirk in Dunkirk. He had to film where it actually took place. Which, in theory, on paper, seems like a really good idea. Hey, that's really true to history. But ever since then, it was in ruins back then because it was a war, a world war. So since then until 2017, which was when the movie was made, they have built things, and it is not in ruins anymore. It's the same place, but not really. So, first of all, you get to see Dunkirk and the beach and everything, and it's not in ruins. It looks really clean and fine, and, there's no, what's the problem here? So that's the first thing. The second thing is PG-13. So, he is going with this whole the sunglasses thing. I trying the sunglasses thing inside to get some sort of fucking visual interest. I don't know. But the thing that is trying to do is not have a main character, which is all right. That's okay. But the problem then is that there is no one you root for in the same way. And when you have PG-13, like Saving Private Ryan, in the opening of Saving Private Ryan, right? You don't know these people. You don't know any of them. But when a guy is blown in half and he sits with his guts like this and cries for mommy, you feel for him. Even though you haven't seen him before in the film, you fucking feel for him. In a PG-13 world, where they can be shot here and here and here and here with no blood, you kinda don't feel it. So if you have to have a PG-13 movie, you have to set up the stakes and you have to set up the characters, which he hasn't. Also, I'm a 18, 90-year-old man inside here, so I understand that there's some sort of boy band or rock and roll star or whatever who is the main character, not the main character, but one of the main protagonists. So, for me, luckily, I didn't know who the fuck he was. Harry Styles? Is that something? Well, I didn't know who the fuck he was, but for people who knows who he is, like, because here's the fucking third thing about Dunkirk. So you have the pilot, right? The pilot has this mask on, and the dogfighting, the plane fighting is fucking awesome. It's great. Technically, it's great. But, all right, so we have this plane and you have this mask, and all right. And Christopher Nolan doesn't go for the traditional script-wise thing. In a bad script, it would be like he was driving this plane, he had his mask on, and he was looking at this picture of his wife and kids, and there was some exposition dialogue about like, well, I can't wait to see my wife and daughter. Something like that, right? But Christopher Nolan doesn't do that. And that's fine. But when we don't know anything about this pilot, because it's realistic, what the fuck do you think people feel? Or what's the impact on people when he takes off his mask? It is Tom Hardy. You haven't gotten to know the character. You don't know the character at all. It has just been masked man in a plane. And then when he takes off the fucking mask, it's Tom Hardy. And what does our brain think then? It's Tom Hardy. I hope Tom Hardy survives the Second World War. Because they haven't established a character yet. It's just Tom Hardy when he takes off the fucking thing. And Oppenheimer, Jesus Christ. I watched it in the theaters and I thought this is very long, but it's good, but it's very Christopher Nolan. And I watched it again and I had to pause it. I have to watch it in 2 days. And I have to say this, people, the whole TikTok thing, we are angry about the whole kids nowadays, Gen Z. Well, they're right, they fucking suck. But Gen Z in so many ways. But Gen Z, they have watched these TikTok videos and they have the attention span of, like me, ADHD, right? But they have a terrible attention span. And they watch this, but I kind of think, yeah, it's TikTok who does that, and Instagram and whatever the fuck, and YouTube Shorts. But it's also fucking Christopher Nolan, man. He cuts like this. He can't let any fucking scene or anything visual breathe. That's why I have a difficulty calling Christopher Nolan films, saying that they have good cinematography. They might have, but every scene is like this. So you don't get to see the fucking scenes. You don't get to see the film breathe. And that's my fucking problem with Christopher Nolan and everybody. And I've said this in comment sections. Oh, you're a fucking idiot, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I promise you, kids, someday you'll get, and I'll say this, as humble as I can, I'll say this. I'm always right. And that's my fucking burden. I'm always fucking right. Please subscribe and push a like button. I'm kind of drunk right now.